Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. Gone in minutes. Tonight, police are looking for the thieves who they say stole a substantial amount of jewelry from the Arnott Mall in a smash and grab. Big Fox's Matt Kleindens tells us this is a troubling trend right now that has retailers and police on high alert.
Good evening, Ann. The Arnott Mall experienced what several retailers across the country have dealt with. A group of thieves rushing an unsuspecting storefront and making off with the merchandise in a blink of an eye. Shortly after 9 o'clock on Friday, police were called to a robbery in progress at the Zales Jewelers store in the Arnott Mall. Within a matter of minutes, the thieves were gone and a substantial amount of jewelry went with them, completing what is known as a smash and grab. These smash and grab thefts have played out at retail stores across the country in recent weeks, many of which were caught on camera. The incidents prompted some stores to beef up security measures to deter any future robberies. So far, no arrests have been made in the Arnott Mall case. Anyone with information about the incident is asked to call state police in Horseheads. Matt Kleindens, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
The city of Corning is asking residents to not flush so-called flushable wipes down the toilet. While the products might be labeled as flushable, they aren't able to break down, which could cause problems with clogging of city wastewater systems. City officials are reminding residents to only flush toilet paper down the drain. Fans of the hit Netflix show Blown Away will have a chance to meet the stars of the show this weekend. Glass artists Kat Burns, Andy Covell, and Now Yamamoto will be at the Corning Glass Museum hosting a number of glass-blowing demonstrations. Guests will be able to purchase glass ornaments made by the glass artists and say hello to them during a meet and greet session. The first of the glass-blowing demonstrations will kick off Friday at 9 a.m. Did you have any trouble getting onto your favorite websites on Tuesday? If so, you're not alone. Amazon Web Services, which hosts websites and more for businesses, governments, and universities, experiencing widespread disruptions. Alexis McAdams has more.
A large swath of internet users worldwide hitting a frustrating snag on Tuesday, with Amazon Web Services suffering a major outage, disrupting a lot of popular websites that rely on the tech giant's hosting platforms. Down Detector, which tracks internet outages, getting more than 11,000 reports of issues with the cloud service. Those disruptions starting early afternoon, primarily affecting the East Coast. And it wasn't just downed websites. Products and services we've come to rely on were also impacted, including Ring doorbell cameras, Instacart, Venmo, Disney+, Netflix, and airlines. Delta customers having trouble calling into the carrier to make changes to their trips. With their call center supported by an AWS phone line, the company encouraging folks to use their website for any travel adjustments. It was a similar situation for Southwest Airlines, the company seeing major outages with some of their airport-based systems. But luckily for travelers, that issue not disrupting flights. And some hoping to grab a bite at McDonald's hitting a non-satisfying speed bump if they tried to use the app, which was down for many users. Amazon quickly looking into the root cause of those issues, blaming the impairment of several network devices as the cause of those widespread outages.
Amazon said they identified there's a pair of problems. That's the good news. But the bad news is they weren't entirely sure when they were going to have it solved.
By Tuesday afternoon, Amazon was seeing an improvement across most of their AWS platforms, according to their official status page. In New York, Alexis McAdams, Fox News.
New York City police arrested the man they believe set fire to the Fox News Christmas tree. Police say Craig Tamanaha intentionally set the 50-foot tree on fire right outside of Fox News studios in Manhattan on Wednesday. No injuries were reported. According to police, the 49-year-old is homeless and had a lighter in his possession. He faces several charges, including arson, reckless endangerment, and criminal mischief. Police do not have a motive, but they are looking at whether mental illness was a factor. It's hunting season, but this year the real hunt is for ammo. Retailers say they can barely keep their shelves stocked because of shipping delays and increased demand. Rebecca Castor is in Louisiana, which is a hot spot for deer and duck hunting, with how this is all impacting the sport.
There will definitely be less competition for wild game this year. We spoke with some hunters who are out getting some practice in at the shooting range, and they tell us that if you don't already have your ammo, it's going to be nearly impossible to find it without paying a price.
We used to have all hunting ammunition here. It was all stocked up to the top.
At Polly's Pistols in Slidell, they've been sold out of bullets for 3 months.
What little is coming through is stuck offshore in the Port of Los Angeles. They're not letting the ships unload. All the stores have sold out already, so there's nothing.
If you're lucky enough to find ammo, you'll pay more for it.
This on the store shelf for about 63, 65 cents a round, when this would be normally somewhere around 20, low 20-something cents a round.
The demand for guns that skyrocketed during the pandemic doesn't seem to be letting up anytime soon. The week of Black Friday, the FBI processed over 687,000 background checks for future gun owners.
Every one of those checks is ostensibly a purchase of a firearm, and it also means that people are buying ammo. And it amazes me that people are still spending the money and still enjoying the sport.
But a gun is useless without bullets. Rangemaster Sam Ball says many people will make their own ammo, but panic buying needs to stop for the supply to bounce back.
Buy it when you can, but don't buy any more than you need. Stop the hoarding, and makes it available for the recreational shooter.
Now, some stores are limiting the number of boxes people can buy at a time, but many retailers say it will be months before they expect to have a steady supply again. In Pearl River, Louisiana, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Meteorologist Kim Walker is in next with our complete forecast. Stay with us.
Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. Quite a chilly day with a few snow showers. Tomorrow will continue to be chilly and pretty cloudy, and then we have a storm system coming. There could be a few showers starting off late on Friday, but then there's some good news, some light at the end of the tunnel, because by the end of the weekend we should see a little bit more sunshine. I'll explain that in just a little bit. But for tomorrow, high pressure still building in, leaving us in the cold with northerly winds coming in for your Thursday. Temperature-wise, we'll start off in the 20s, only warming up to around 34 degrees, a couple of degrees above freezing by lunchtime. I think our high will only be around 36 degrees with a lot of clouds sticking around, and it looks like in the evening hours we're going to stay in the lower 30s, and there could be a little bit of precipitation, maybe a few snowflakes, but anything that thaws out today will start to refreeze, and that's going to be the same situation on Thursday. So there could be some very slick roads. So just be careful out there if you're driving out and about. But on Friday and Saturday, as the storm system approaches, we are going to be in the warm sector of the system. So we're going to see a big jump in our temperatures, especially on Friday and Saturday, as we will be about 10 to 20 degrees above normal. But with this system, we also have the possibility of precipitation. So it looks like it's going to be drenching rain for your Saturday. In fact, we could pick up anywhere between about 1 inch to 2 inches of rainfall could be possible. So let's take a look at our future radar. We're finding a few snowflakes for tonight into early tomorrow, but that should be ending, and I'm expecting a lot of cloud covers, a lot of clouds to stream across our sky. Moving into the early part of Friday, there could be some frozen precipitation, rain and snow mix early in the day, and of course that makes things very slick, and also the same situation for the latter part of your Friday. Not the best chances, but even with just a little bit of rain, it makes those roads really slick. But as that warmer air returns on Saturday, we are expecting all the precipitation to fall as rain. I think the bulk of the rain will be coming in the afternoon, with a line of showers moving in, and then colder air will follow behind the system. So any remaining precipitation will be falling in the form of snow. So here's a look at your forecast for tonight. Temperatures definitely cold, below freezing, 23 degrees in Elmira, 25 in Corning, around 22 degrees in Wayland. Highs tomorrow, about 36 degrees for both Corning and Elmira, right at the freezing point in Wayland, and 35 degrees in Mansfield. Your 7-day forecast calls for a warming trend, 47 degrees on Friday with a lot of cloud cover. There could be a few showers in the afternoon, but then drenching rain on Saturday with the high around 61 degrees. Cooler air returns for the end of the weekend and will last through early next week, but the good news is we'll enjoy plenty of sunshine.
Caught on camera, a man pinned to the ground during an arrest as he gasps for air. Now his attorneys are blaming the store where it happened and taking legal action. Haley Mason has more.
This is video of Michael King yelling, "I can't breathe," as a man who worked for Dollar General detained him for allegedly trying to shoplift about $46 worth of household items.
Stop resisting me. Stop resisting.
The incident went on for 9 minutes as the manager watched. It happened at a store in Albany, Georgia.
You also see another employee who we believe was the acting manager walk right by, keep looking, didn't order Mr. Harvey off of Mr. King, and allowed this to happen, which is why this is Dollar General's entire fault.
And this is the result. Today, King's attorney L. Chris Stewart announced a lawsuit for negligence for King's injuries. They say he was sent to the hospital and put on life support.
He had to be sedated, and he was on a ventilator for 9 days. He suffered collapsed lungs and a punctured lung. He had a liver injury.
This was insanity. The screams of "I can't breathe" are all too reminding of what we heard with George Floyd. And it had dire consequences.
The Dollar General's manager is also named in the suit for allegedly closing the doors of the store while it happened.
You can hear the witness describe how the doors were locked to the Dollar General by the manager, not allowing anyone to leave.
The legal team says King still cannot walk after the incident that happened in late October. They're asking Dollar General to withdraw all shoplifting charges against their client.
New court documents show Travis Scott denies legal liability in the Astroworld Festival tragedy. 10 people died at the event in Houston last month. The court documents, filed by Scott's attorneys, respond to 6 lawsuits. More than 140 lawsuits have been filed so far. Most of them claim Scott and event organizers stood to make huge sums of money from the concert. Immediately after the tragedy, Scott said he was devastated by what happened. 81-year-old Brazilian soccer legend Pelé has been hospitalized and is undergoing chemotherapy treatment for a tumor in his colon. That's according to a spokesperson at Sao Paulo's Albert Einstein Hospital, who adds Pelé is in stable condition and expected to be released in the next few days. Pelé underwent surgery to remove a tumor from his right colon in September of this year. A Texas plumber is getting a big reward after turning in a stash of cash he found hidden in a megachurch's walls. Mia Shea has more.
If these Lakewood walls would talk, they would tell the story of how $600,000 in cash and checks went missing in 2014, and how some 7 years later, a plumber found hundreds of envelopes with some of the money in the walls while he repaired a toilet. But most of the story remains a mystery, even after this call by Justin the plumber to a local radio station set off a chain of events last week.
I was doing some plumbing work at the Lakewood Church, and I discovered their money in the wall that was stolen back in 2014.
Whoa, wait, what do you mean? How much money?
Since then, Justin's story has checked out. According to the Houston Police Department, they have since linked the money he found to the unsolved heist in 2014. Back then, Lakewood Church donated $20,000 to Crime Stoppers to try to solve the crime. Today, the organization gifted the money to Justin, the plumber. An unusual move to be sure, but one that Lakewood supports, saying in a statement, in 2016, Lakewood Church made a $20,000 charitable donation to Crime Stoppers of Houston to help solve this case and support them for all they do in the community. We are appreciative of the plumber, and we hope he pays the gift forward. Also, after the money was found, the church contacted the insurance company, and the matter is now resolved.
First responders in Minnesota were honored Tuesday for their quick thinking and bravery during a deadly shooting in October. 1 person was killed and 14 others were injured in the shooting at a bar. Susan Elizabeth Littlefield has new information on what was going on behind the scenes.
214 West 7th at the Truck Park Bar. We have multiple people that are shot.
It was a night of chaos.
In a person's career, there's a handful of events that you remember. Yeah, this was an incredible night.
Medics got the call around midnight that 4 people may have been shot.
And it didn't take me long to realize this is bigger than just 4 persons shot.
Captain Mark Munson and his fellow firefighter medics found 15 victims.
And as I'm walking down the street, the scene just kept unrolling in front of me, and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Person on the right laying on the curb, person on the right laying on the sidewalk.
For one young woman, Markeisha Wiley, it was too late.
I know that we did everything we could to save her life. She was the first patient we saw. She got immediate care before all the chaos after it followed, and unfortunately she did not survive that event.
For some perspective on how deeply this shooting hit this department, about 52 firefighters responded that night. That was about half of the medics working in the entire city.
We'll never forget the horror of that night.
So those firefighters were recognized by the mayor.
I can't imagine the trauma that it took, that you had to expose yourself to.
And rewarded by the chief.
I commend you for your extraordinary work.
A moment to remember those who endured a night they'll never forget.
I stayed up that night. Never happens, thinking about the run over and over and over again and what I would have done different. I hope it never ever happens again, but if it does happen again, I know I'll be better prepared for it the next time.
The labor shortage continues to plague businesses across the country, and it's especially challenging for small and mid-sized businesses. One San Francisco flower shop owner says he is so desperate to get new employees that he'll hire anyone who wants to work.
We had 2 employees, and one of our employees retired. And one employee just opened his own shop. Right now, we take anyone who are willing to learn and stay with us.
The owner says right now he and his girlfriend are the only 2 people working at the shop, and they are working all day, every day. Some business owners fear the labor shortage could potentially get worse with the emergence of the new Omicron variant. From brazen criminals to one teen who thought outside the box and a family who found a way to make something old new again. Jeremy Roth has these stories in today's Take a Look at This.
There's smash and grab, then there's this. A group of 4 suspects broke into a convenience store in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. In just over a minute, police say the suspects break into the store, throw a cable around an ATM machine, and rip it out using a stolen SUV. According to police, the same group tried to repeat this strategy at least 2 more times that night, but were unsuccessful. And while those thieves are still on the loose, this one was caught thanks to a father-son duo. Justin Bankhead was fed up with having packages stolen off the porch of his Provo, Utah home when he offered $500 to anyone who caught the thief. Lo and behold, it was his own son who went after the bountiful bounty.
I really cared until I heard about the bounty.
14-year-old Cody planted an active tracking device in a decoy box on their porch. Sure enough, the thief returned and snagged the package, but not before the would-be thief's getaway car almost got away after he forgot to put it in park. Justin and Cody tracked the box, and moments later, police arrested the alleged criminal. Finally, when backed-up supply chains kept a Kansas family from building a new home on their farm, they decided to just move an old one there. Following weeks of planning, crews carefully moved this 100-year-old home 15 miles to its new location, a scene reminiscent of a Pixar classic.
Their kids are saying, "Mom, it's like up." I wish we could have just floated the house away.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. Christmas time is turning into Miller time. The popular light beer company is taking Christmas to the next level with drinkable ornaments. Miller Lite drinkers can now take a sip of an iced cold beer in their new Beernaments. The Miller Lite ornaments come in a set of 6 and snap around an 8-ounce can. The beer company teamed up with comedian Jimmy O. Yang to explain how they work. The 6-pack of ornaments, beer not included, will set you back a little under $20. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.